It's difficult at times, isn't it? It's hard just getting through the day. What do you do when you keep getting knocked down? Two sportscaster commentators, whatever you call them, we're discussing the NFL, not the Premier League, Gary. They were talking about the great football players and the great runners, the great running backs in professional football. Of course, the name came up, Walter Payton. The all-time, I think he still may hold some records, the leading ground gainer in the NFL. Didn't he play for Chicago? Oh, yeah, okay. What a runner, said the first commentator. He said, do you realize that altogether in his career, he had gained over 9 miles rushing in his career? Can you imagine? 9 miles rushing. The other sportscaster thought for a moment and said, and can you imagine every 4.6 yards of the way, someone who was trying to take his head off and knock him down? It's difficult when you get knocked down. And maybe that describes your life. A long journey with somebody knocking you down every few yards. The Apostle Peter had a good text in 1 Peter chapter 2, verses 19, right on down to verse 25. And Peter was writing to a group of Christians, dealing with people, individuals who were getting knocked down and they were finding it difficult to get back up. Listen to what he advised them. Suffer with patience. Wow. It's hard to advise someone who's getting it to suffer with patience. We are so solution oriented. We want a miracle and we want it now. We like to think that every problem has a nice, quick, easy fix. Give it to me now. Let's solve this problem today. There are many problems in life that you have to deal with. I was thinking the other day, well, I'll not mention any names, but there's this one gentleman, him and his wife were out 2 different cars going to pick up something. I think they were going to pick up something. And she happened to take off at one turn. And for some reason, he missed a turn. Calls her an hour later, couldn't find his way back to meet up with her. He was losing his mind. Can you imagine dementia? Can you imagine someone you love and they can't remember where they left their keys? They can't remember whether they're coming or going. Isn't that hard? I knew this beautiful Christian lady who was a member of her congregation, and she died a while back. But for many, many years she had Parkinson's, but she also was having these mind problems. But you know, right up to the very end, she had this smile of confidence. Somehow God was able to teach her that wonderful lesson that what awaits you is greater than what you're going through here on earth. I watched her get weaker and weaker and weaker and finally die. But she had that radiant smile. You're not going to knock me down and keep me down. And then I was at a funeral just the other day, a couple of days ago. Beautiful lady. The cancer was so bad it was eating her body up. And she was breaking out in sores and purple welts all over her body. And you just see the stress and the pain and the agony on her face. Tell the spouse who has an abusive husband, suffer with patience. Tell the parent who has chemically dependent children, suffer with patience. Tell the person who's struggling with deep depression, anxiety, or some other mental illness, suffer with patience. You need to get over it. Tell the person who has poured everything into a relationship to be told you're not the one, I don't love you. You are not the one, I don't want to be around you. Peter is writing to Christians, and they're getting knocked down for their faith. They're suffering not because they were doing wrong. They were suffering because they were doing right. Now that's hard, right? That's hard. To suffer because you're doing the right thing, of course it's unjust. Of course it's unfair. Sometimes we get knocked down in life when we don't deserve it. Bob Hope was receiving a major award, and he stood up to the audience after receiving this reward, and he held it up and he said, I don't deserve this. But then he said, I've got arthritis and I don't deserve this either. I guess he was joking. What about the babies who are addicted to cocaine or infected with AIDS? Not because of what they've done, but because of their mother, their parents. What about those who are victims of drunk driving? What about the children who suffer with parental abuse? What about those who are born into poverty? The food is dwindling, there's no food. Life can be unfair. But my friends, here's the message. Hope, keep on getting up. We are not lying down. We're not giving up. We're not giving up. Life can be unfair. But we're going to keep on keeping on as long as we can. And maybe when you meet God, this is something you can talk to God about. William Henry Alston, they said he was an alcoholic. He said, I don't drink. They didn't believe him. They said, you're committing all these crimes. They said he was an alcoholic. He was arrested. He was put in prison. But they sent him to a mental hospital because they said you were drunk. He was charged with breaking and entering. After months and months of treatment, electric shock treatments, the authorities determined they had the wrong man. They shocked him. They put him in prison. It's the wrong man. The journalist in the Washington Post says, where is the justice? Life can be unfair. But here's the message. Keep on trusting. Keep on loving. Hold on. Believe. Hold on to your faith. Suffer with patience. May God bless you and keep you. Have a wonderful day.